The champagne glass hit the marble table so hard I thought it would shatter. My sister Olivia stood in the middle of my mother's living room in Melbourne, microphone in hand, smile perfect, eyes cold. She raised her glass toward me and said the words that would change everything. To my sister Claire, the useless one who never figured life out. The room went silent. 50 people stared. My mother looked down. My father coughed. And I just stood there, frozen, holding my wine like it could shield me from the humiliation burning through my chest. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just smiled, set my glass down, and walked out the door. What none of them knew was that I had been waiting for this moment, and my lawyer was already on speed dial. My name is Claire Morrison. I'm 34 years old, and for most of my life, I've been invisible. Not because I wanted to be, but because my family decided that's all I deserved to be. While my younger sister Olivia built an empire, I lived quietly in a small apartment in Brisbane, working remotely as a freelance legal consultant. Decent pay, quiet life, no drama. But to my family, I was the one who never made it. The one who didn't have the big house, the luxury car, the Instagram following. I was just Claire, the forgotten daughter. If you've ever felt like the black sheep in your own family, stick around, because this story is for you. And if you want to hear more real stories like this one, hit that subscribe button. You won't regret it. Trust me, what's coming next is going to blow your mind. Growing up in Melbourne, everything was a competition I never signed up for. Olivia was 3 years younger, but somehow, she always managed to be 3 steps ahead. She was the golden child, the one who got the compliments, the attention, the pride. I remember sitting at the dinner table when I was 17, telling my parents I got accepted into law school. My mother barely looked up from her phone. My father said, "That's nice, darling," and went back to reading the newspaper. 2 years later, Olivia announced she wanted to start a jewelry business. My mother cried with joy. My father opened a bottle of wine. They threw her a celebration dinner. I wasn't even invited to help plan it. I learned early that love in my family came with conditions. You had to be impressive. You had to shine. You had to perform. And I just never made the cut. So I stopped trying. I moved to Brisbane after university, got a quiet job, and kept my distance. I called on birthdays. I showed up for Christmas. I played my role, the invisible daughter who didn't cause trouble. But inside, I was keeping score. Every dismissive comment, every time they forgot to ask how I was doing, every time Olivia's name was mentioned with pride while mine was mentioned with pity. I remembered it all. The worst part wasn't the neglect. It was the rewriting of history. Olivia's jewelry brand, Luminous and Coberer, became a huge success in Melbourne. She had 3 stores, a strong online presence, celebrity clients. Everyone praised her. Self-made entrepreneur, visionary, boss babe. But here's what nobody knew. 8 years ago, when Olivia was 23 and desperate to start her business, she came to me crying. She had no money, no investors, no backup plan. She begged me to help her. And I did. I gave her everything I had. $180,000. My entire savings. Money I had been putting away since I was 16. Money I earned from part-time jobs, internships, freelance gigs. It was supposed to be my safety net, my future, my freedom. But she was my sister, and I loved her. So I transferred it. All of it. She promised she'd pay me back. She said as soon as the business took off, she'd return every cent. We even wrote it down. A simple contract, signed by both of us. She hugged me that day and said, "You're saving my life, Claire. I'll never forget this." But she did forget. Or maybe she just chose to. The business exploded. Within 2 years, she was making serious money. I waited. I didn't want to pressure her. I trusted her. Then 3 years passed. I finally asked. She looked at me like I was crazy. "What money?" she said. I reminded her. She laughed. Claire, that was a gift. You gave it to me. You can't just take back a gift. I showed her the contract. She ripped it up, right in front of me. Then she told my parents I was harassing her, that I was jealous, that I was trying to ruin her success, and they believed her. Of course they did. From that moment on, I became the villain in my own family. The bitter older sister who couldn't handle Olivia's success. My mother stopped inviting me to family dinners. My father told me I needed to let it go. Olivia blocked my number, and I was left standing in the ruins of a relationship I thought was unbreakable. But I didn't let it go. I couldn't. Because it wasn't just about the money. It was about the lie, the audacity, the betrayal. So I did what I do best. I got quiet. I got strategic. And I started building my case. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you trusted completely? Drop the word betrayed in the comments if you know that feeling. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because what happens next is going to leave you speechless. For 6 years, I didn't push. I didn't call. I didn't show up at family events unless absolutely necessary. I let them think I had given up. But behind the scenes, I was working. I kept every single piece of evidence. Bank transfer receipts, email threads, text messages, screenshots of conversations. The torn contract? I had photographed it before she destroyed it. I even had a recording of a phone call where she admitted she owed me the money but said she wasn't in a position to pay it back yet. I stored everything in a secure cloud folder, organized, dated, labeled. I wasn't emotional about it anymore. I was surgical. Then, 6 months ago, I contacted a lawyer. His name was Derek Williamson, a specialist in financial disputes and family law. I walked into his office in Brisbane with a folder thicker than a novel. He spent 2 hours going through everything. When he finished, he looked up at me and said, "This is one of the cleanest cases I've ever seen. She doesn't have a leg to stand on." We built the case carefully. Derek advised me to wait for the right moment. "You want maximum impact," he said. "You want her to feel it." So I waited. I watched her post on Instagram about her success. I watched my parents brag about her at family gatherings. I watched her live the life my money helped build. And I stayed silent. Until my mother's 60th birthday party. The invitation came 3 weeks before the event. My mother called me personally. "Claire, darling, I really hope you'll come. It's important to me." I almost said no. But then I thought about it. This was my opportunity. The stage was set. The audience was ready. So I RSVP'd yes. I bought a simple black dress. I drove 3 hours from Brisbane to Melbourne. I walked into that house with my head high and my heart calm. I wasn't there to beg for acceptance. I was there to set the record straight. The party was elegant. Catered food, live music, decorations that screamed wealth. Olivia was the star of the show, as always. She wore a gold dress that probably cost more than my rent. She moved through the crowd like royalty, accepting compliments, taking photos, glowing. I stayed in the background, sipping wine, watching. My mother gave a speech thanking everyone for coming. Then she handed the microphone to Olivia. "My youngest daughter wants to say a few words," she said, beaming. Olivia took the mic. She started with the usual, thanking Mum, praising the family. Then her eyes landed on me, and her tone shifted. "I also want to take a moment to talk about my sister, Claire," she said, her voice dripping with fake warmth. The room turned toward me. I felt my stomach drop. Claire has always been different. She's never really figured out what she wants to do with her life. She's never had the drive, the ambition, and that's okay. Not everyone is meant to be successful. People laughed, nervous, polite laughter. My mother looked uncomfortable but said nothing. Olivia continued. "I just want to say, Claire, that it's never too late to start trying. Maybe one day you'll find your path. But until then, just know that we love you anyway." She raised her glass. To Claire, the useless one who never figured life out. The words hit me like a slap, but I didn't react. I didn't give her the satisfaction. I smiled. I nodded. I raised my glass, and then I walked out. I heard whispers behind me. I felt eyes on my back. But I didn't care, because I knew something they didn't. The real show was about to begin. This is the moment everything shifts. If you're still watching, you're about to see something incredible. Stay with me. The best part is coming, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, because you're going to want to see how this ends. I drove back to Brisbane that night in silence. My phone buzzed with messages. My mother, my aunt, a cousin I hadn't spoken to in years, all of them saying the same thing. Are you okay? Don't take it personally. Olivia didn't mean it like that. But not one of them said, that was wrong. Not one of them defended me. I didn't reply to any of them. Instead, I called Derek. It's time, I said. He didn't ask questions. He just said, I'll have everything ready by Monday. That weekend, I barely slept. Not because I was nervous, but because I was finally ready to take back what was mine. Monday morning came. Derek called me at 9. We're going in at 2. Are you sure you want to be there? I didn't hesitate. Absolutely. I put on a crisp white shirt, black trousers, and my best blazer. I tied my hair back. I looked in the mirror and saw someone I hadn't seen in years, someone strong, someone who wasn't going to be walked over anymore. At exactly 2 in the afternoon, I walked into Luminous & Co., Olivia's flagship store in South Yarra. The place was busy, customers browsing, staff organizing displays, soft music playing. Olivia was behind the counter, laughing with a client. She looked up when I walked in. Her smile faltered. Claire? What are you doing here? I didn't answer. I just stepped aside. And that's when Derek walked in. Tall, professional, holding a leather briefcase. Behind him was a court officer in uniform. The store went silent. Olivia Morrison? Derek said, his voice calm and official. Olivia's face drained of color. Yes. Derek opened his briefcase and pulled out a thick envelope. You're being served with a legal notice for repayment of a debt in the amount of $180,000, plus interest and legal fees, totaling $237,000. You have 30 days to respond. If payment is not made or a settlement is not reached, this case will proceed to civil court, and your assets may be seized. He handed her the envelope. She stared at it like it was a bomb. What? What is this? She stammered. I stepped forward. My voice was steady, strong. It's the money you owe me, Olivia. The money you said was a gift. The money you pretended never existed. Her eyes widened. Claire, you can't be serious. This is insane. Derek cut in. Miss Morrison, I'd advise you to consult with a lawyer immediately. Everything is documented. Bank transfers, contracts, correspondence. This case is airtight. The customers were staring now. Staff members whispered to each other. Olivia's hands shook as she held the envelope. You're doing this here? In front of everyone? I didn't blink. You humiliated me in front of everyone. Consider us even. The court officer stepped forward. This is an official legal matter, Miss Morrison. If you refuse to cooperate, further action will be taken. Olivia looked at me, her face a mixture of rage and panic. I can't believe you're doing this. After everything I've done, after everything this family has done for you. I almost laughed. Everything you've done? Olivia, you built your entire empire on my money, and you erased me from the story. So yes, I'm doing this. Derek closed his briefcase. We'll be in touch. Have a good day. And just like that, we walked out. I could hear Olivia's voice behind me, shrill and breaking. Claire! Claire, wait! We can talk about this! But I didn't stop. I didn't look back. I just kept walking. And for the first time in 8 years, I felt free. Within hours, my phone exploded. My mother called 17 times. My father left voicemails begging me to reconsider. Olivia sent me a frantic text. "Please don't do this. I'll pay you back. Just drop the case, please." But I didn't respond. Not to any of them. 2 days later, my mother showed up at my apartment in Brisbane. I opened the door and found her standing there, eyes red, makeup smudged. "Claire, please. You're destroying your sister. You're destroying this family." I crossed my arms. "I'm not destroying anything, Mum. I'm finally standing up for myself." She shook her head. "This isn't you. You're not cruel. You're not vindictive." I stared at her. "You're right. I'm not. But I'm also not a doormat. And I'm done being treated like one." She started crying. "If you go through with this, Olivia could lose everything. The stores, the brand, everything she's worked for." I felt a flicker of something. Not guilt, just clarity. "She didn't work for it alone, Mum. I gave her the foundation, and she thanked me by calling me useless in front of 50 people. My mother's voice cracked. "She didn't mean it." I stepped closer. "Yes, she did. And you let her. You all did." My father called next. He tried a different approach. Angry, authoritative. "Claire, you need to drop this nonsense. You're embarrassing this family." I laughed. Actually laughed. "I'm embarrassing you? Dad, I'm the one who was humiliated. I'm the one who was erased. I'm the one who gave everything and got nothing in return. And now that I'm asking for what's mine, I'm the problem?" He went quiet. Then he said, "If you do this, don't expect us to forgive you." I felt the weight of those words, but instead of breaking me, they freed me. "I'm not asking for forgiveness," I said. "I'm asking for justice." And I hung up. The case moved forward. Olivia hired a lawyer. They tried to argue that the money was a gift. But Derek dismantled every argument with evidence. Bank statements showing the transfers labeled as business loan. Emails where Olivia explicitly promised repayment. Text messages where she acknowledged the debt. Even the recording I had saved. Her lawyer advised her to settle. She refused. She wanted to fight. So we went to court. The courtroom was cold, clinical. My family sat on Olivia's side. My mother cried. My father glared at me. Olivia sat rigid, her lawyer whispering to her. I sat alone on my side. Just me and Derek. The judge reviewed the evidence. It took less than an hour. When he finally spoke, his voice was firm. "The evidence is overwhelming. Miss Claire Morrison provided a substantial loan to Miss Olivia Morrison with clear terms of repayment. The defense has provided no credible evidence to refute this. I rule in favor of the plaintiff. Miss Olivia Morrison is ordered to repay the full amount of $237,000 within 90 days, or assets will be liquidated to cover the debt." The gavel struck. It was over. I won. Olivia's face crumpled. My mother sobbed. My father put his head in his hands. And I just sat there, breathing, feeling the weight lift, feeling the justice settle. Outside the courthouse, Olivia tried one last time. She grabbed my arm. "Claire, please. Let's talk. I'll pay you. I will. Just give me time." I looked at her. Really looked at her. "You had 8 years, Olivia. You chose to lie instead." She started crying. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." I gently pulled my arm away. "I believe you, but sorry doesn't undo what you did." And I walked away. 3 months later, Olivia sold 2 of her 3 stores to pay me back. I received every cent. My lawyer fees were covered. The money was mine again. I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel triumphant. I just felt calm, like something that had been broken inside me had finally been repaired. My family cut me off completely. My mother sent one final message. "I hope you're happy. You've destroyed your sister and torn this family apart." I read it. Then I blocked her number. Some people think revenge is loud, that it's dramatic, that it's cruel. But for me, it wasn't revenge. It was simply reclaiming what was mine. It was refusing to be erased. It was standing up after years of being pushed down. And if that makes me the villain in their story, I can live with that. Because in my story, I'm the one who finally won. If you've ever been underestimated, overlooked, or betrayed by the people who were supposed to love you, I want you to know something. Your worth isn't determined by their opinion. Your value isn't measured by their validation. You are enough. You always were. And sometimes, walking away is the greatest act of self-love you can give yourself. What do you think? Was I right to take her to court? Or should I have let it go? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if this resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe. There are more powerful stories coming your way. Thank you for being here. And remember, silence isn't weakness. Sometimes it's the sharpest weapon you have.